everybody, I'm Stephanie Heyman and we are back for some more fun crafting. Today it's with terracotta pots and some vintage goodness. So grab your supplies and let's get ready to craft. So I've got my terracotta pot. I love doing fun, different looks on terracotta because it's just so easy to do. So I'm going to take my decoupage and I'm just going to put it on here pretty liberally because this is an unfinished, unprepped surface. It's going to dry really, really fast. So we're going to just take and rip some of our sewing pattern here. And then I'm just going to go in and put some more underneath and start to put it down. And what you're going to do with the decoupage is you always put it on the top and on the bottom. So we'll get it on the bottom, get our piece on there, and then we'll seal it in. And that makes layering easier, plus it seals the entire project for us, which is really nice. So we'll do that. I'm going to lay this down. And I'm just going to keep adding pieces here of sewing patterns. And what I like about the sewing patterns is you get a little bit of the terracotta showing through, but you also get this really cool effect as it starts to layer, where you can see the different lines and the different little notes and things about where to cut kind of showing through. So I just tear it usually. These were already kind of pre-cut because they were actually used. Sometimes I buy them and they're still fully intact and have never even been cut out. But this little bag, these were actually used and someone actually sewed the little projects. So I'm going to keep adding these, ripping and tearing and tearing and ripping and adding them on. And then I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 good solid layers of the sewing patterns all the way around the bottom part here because I want to be able to really see it and get it to stand out so that I can see the pattern. And like the first one, you can see it's kind of dark, and once it dries it'll still be pretty dark. So if I go around it a few times, we're going to get some more of that color. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back and I will show you how I'm going to finish it up with some ribbon. So now we've got our layers on here. They're still a little tacky, but they're almost dry. So I'm going to put this to the side for a minute, and we're going to create a fun bow to put on here and just finish it up. So I've cut a nice piece of lace, and I've got some different sized pieces of the sewing patterns just kind of laying here. I'm going to lift these up and just lay that like that. And we're going to just kind of gather it all up like this and just tie ourselves a nice knot in the middle. And then I'm going to take my scissors and trim it down so that's a little bit shorter and smaller. That's a really big bow for that little pot. So we're going to just trim it down, and we don't want it to be perfect. It can be pretty rough looking because it's meant to be rough looking. So we'll do that on that side, we'll do it on this side. And then we've got the start of this cute little sewing pattern tissue bow. And what's fun is we've got different widths of sewing patterns, so we can kind of just take them and play with them and fold them out and make them stick out or rip off like that one did. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and grab back my pot and take a different piece of ribbon. I'm going to pull this piece of tape off the end. You could tell it was the end of the roll for that one. And I'm just going to wrap it around the top of the pot and tie a knot in it. So just like that, okay? And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach it on by tying it on as well. So I'm going to take this piece here and tuck it behind our knot quickly, and then just tie it on to the pot. Basically just make an extra knot in the middle here of the bow. Okay, and just make sure it's nice and secure. I'm going to take my scissors and trim off some of the excess ribbon that I've got here. And then I can go ahead and trim down the bow a little bit more to the size that I really want it to be, and you can kind of add a little bit of curve if you want to it and get it down to a good manageable size. And what's fun about the tissue paper is you can actually kind of fold it and tuck it and then just kind of mess with it. I call it zhuzhing. We're going to zhuzh it a little bit. And what you've got and what you've created is a cute little vintage inspired flower pot that all it needs is a fun little piece of greenery to go in it, and you're all set to go. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping by. I hope you guys had fun with this project. There's so many different ways you can do this with color tissue paper, vintage book pages, all sorts of stuff. So this is just the beginning of the fun things that you can create. Thanks so much. If you enjoyed the video, give us a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe so that you keep coming back for more crafty projects.